Welcome to M.I. Okoro Property Insights, where smart property decisions create lasting wealth.
For instance, I don't see why you cannot have Sapele Port working. You cannot have Port Harcourt Port very busy, and you cannot have Calabar Port very busy. If they do that, they would have pushed at least 20% of the population down to these locations, right, to do their businesses. If they do that, the pressure on demand of housing will reduce. The pressure on road usage will reduce. A pressure demand on water, light, a lot of facilities will reduce. But the government refused to do that. I like to respond to your question about how high rise of urbanization has cost rental increase and high cost of capital values of properties in Nigeria. Well, if you ask me, I would say that Nigeria hasn't experienced so much urbanization like you quoted. But what I feel that is disturbing us in this country is lack of planning. The consequences of lack of planning or inadequate planning is what is causing the upsurge of population in a place people feel that is better. For instance, the case of Lagos and the case of Abuja. And so if we talk about urbanization, then I begin to ask you, what are the factors of such urbanization? This is a country where the government has refused to see the need to decentralize certain communal facilities to disperse population. I take the case of port concentration, that is port where the ships, part to upload their containers. I don't know why in Nigeria you will have only Lagos as the main port where all the ships come. So what that means is that every clearing agent and the customers, all the owners, importers of containers and their customers must come to Lagos. The consequences of that is that it draws a lot of population. When it draws a lot of population, plus already exaggerated population we have, again, as a result of some other factors that if, for instance, had been dispersed to different states of the Federation, we make Lagos less pressured in terms of population and that of Abuja. Abuja, okay, is, for instance, I don't see why you cannot have Sapele Port working. You cannot have Port Harcourt Port very busy, and you cannot have Calabar Port very busy. If they do that, they would have pushed at least 20% of the population down to these locations, right, to do their businesses. If they do that, the pressure on demand of housing will reduce. The pressure on road usage will reduce. A pressure demand on water, light, a lot of facilities will reduce. But the government refused to do that. They felt that it is only Lagos that is the state in Nigeria. I'm sure if Abuja had a seaport, most of these things would have also been shifted to Abuja. Remember, there was a time they moved the headquarters of MPA to Abuja, where there is no water. I think it is after some criticisms that it was pushed down to Lagos. So when you take these somersaulting decisions that negate principle of nature, then it has a very serious consequences. All right? Now, the issue of housing, rental, capital values, there is nothing anybody can do about it because it flows with natural economic principles of demand and supply. So because it flows with natural principles of demand and supply, now so many hands are chasing very few property. Properties are not things you develop overnight because there is demand. You go and begin to don't develop. No matter how you want to develop, at least it will take you up to 6 months before the property will start, no matter how small that property is. Now, if it's a large-scale development, you talk about years. So before that estate will even come live, people would have suffered. Very few valuable estates with so much demand, pressure, the price will escalate. A few months ago, there was a property in this place, Lekki Phase 1 here, that was going for 7 million naira. That tenant left. Just about a month ago, that property that was going for 7 million went to 35 million naira a year. And people were competing. Survival of the fittest. But if this is a country where the government foresee that there will be increase in population because of certain actions, they now begin to plan satellite estates. Everybody must not be inside island or lucrative areas of mainland. I don't see why, for instance, would not have been fully developed. Facilities should have been shifted there. So that, and with a good transport system, people can live in Ekpe, where house rent, you can get a house under 1 million naira in Ekpe. Yes, you can be commuting from Ekpe to island here to do your, or even if the business that are making people to commute to this place is so important, they can locate it in that place. Thereby dispersing it's a deliberate fiscal policy of the federal government, not even at times the state, to checkmate increase in population, which will cause increase in rental value as a result of pressure on demand and less supply of housing. So unless we do this, no amount of the same principle happens in Abuja, if you remember, because everybody goes to Abuja to look for patronage, government contracts, and so on and so forth. So there are high, not that they have factories in Abuja. They don't have any factory, but they are all pursuing government contracts. So everybody, those who couldn't fit into Lagos are moving to Abuja for greener pasture. And that creates serious pressure on housing, demand on housing, and that when many hands are chasing few products, the price will go up.
That's a lot you've been talking about. But then, when it comes to Nigerians, households in particular, with the issue at hand, people are moving from other states, especially coming to Lagos, for example, now for greener pastures. Yeah. And so we also have the issue of commercialization and all of that. So what is the place for low-income earners in this regard? Because when you look at it, land obtainability is very high. Cost of living also, people are struggling. So you begin to wonder, which one should they go with? Is it looking for food or is it shelter? And of course, everywhere you go, you come back to your home.
Anyway, for your information, land and housing are one of the major critical factors of production God created. And in fact, one of the three necessaries of man: food, shelter, and clothing.
Yeah.
Food is basic, clothing is basic, but where the trouble lies is in shelter. Everybody needs shelter. Any living being, no matter, even if you be the richest Nigerian, you need housing. If you are the poorest Nigerian, you need housing. You cannot live in there. Even animals need housing. And when we all have finished living our life on earth, we also need land, which is real estate, for our burials. You understand? So that one is already taking its own chunk of the demand on real estate.
That is huge.
All right. Now, let's face to what you are asking about, where would be a place for
low-income earners.
man.
Yes.
Now, what will happen is this. It has to be a deliberate government policy to create what we refer to as social housing. In that social housing, it is not built with profit motive in mind, because no developer in this world, even if we like, let federal government give them land, if they apply their own resources like finance, they must try to make profit. Otherwise, they will not do it. But the case of social housing will be the housing estates that are meant for those who cannot afford the ordinary luxury, the ordinary houses. Like, in fact, they can use the local governments to do all these things. You can use churches to do it. They can use taxpayers' money. Government can use taxpayers' money just to create social housing where the people who cannot afford to compete in the city centers can live. It is called council flats in UK, for instance. It is called council flats. Even those who do not have job, even those who have lost their means of livelihood, the government makes sure, through the local councils, make sure, oversees that they have these council flats. They don't pay for it. But I'm not advocating that if Nigeria is able, government is able to organize social housing in the country, that the people, they can pay minimal something, maybe 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, to be able to have enough money to maintain the facility, but not necessarily to make income, profit on the development, not necessarily to count on payback period. Otherwise, it's no more social housing. So it must be a deliberate effort of the federal government. Federal and state government, we don't have local government. Local government is only existing just for fiscal money sharing purposes. But as far as I'm concerned, there's no local government in Nigeria because they're not doing anything. When I mean anything, they are not doing any single thing to help the locality. And you can quote me for that. They're not doing anything. But if it is in a country like, even in Ghana, they have local governments that are functioning. But here in Nigeria, due to excessive greed on the part of the governors, they don't allow local government to exist. Any single kobo that, if you notice, the Bola Tinubu administration made every effort to ensure that local government becomes active. But the forces that be could not allow that to happen, because as long as the money grant that is paid to, that's supposed to go to federal government account direct, is still hitting or still needs a state permission to access that fund, you cannot work.
So if I may ask, who fought the local government autonomy?
Local government autonomy, yes, the present administration fought for it. But as I'm talking to you, and I know very well, it is not working, because there's all the governors, even in Lagos State here, it seems to be working, but it is not working. Because no local government can put a structure of 50 million on their own without the intervention of the state government. Do you call that a working system? So this social housing should have been part of what the local government could be charged to be doing in order to reduce the housing pressure on the small, low-income earners. And another way is that government can tax big organizations, like big oil companies, can create a sinking fund through the either state or federal government to put aside certain amount of their gains. Churches can do that. A lot of churches are bigger than, in terms of their money they make, because they don't pay tax in Nigeria. So some of those churches, they know themselves, can be compelled to contribute towards assisting in social housing. It's a charitable housing structure. They can do that and not just collecting, nothing to give back. And then everything we focus on government. Government cannot do everything. But why I'm saying this is that it's only we need government policy to be able to activate it so that the low-income people will have their own housing without pressure. Anything outside this arrangement, it cannot work. If you preach from now to end of the world, it cannot work. And they cannot also tell people who went to the bank to borrow money to build their houses to drop the rent or drop the capital value so they can accommodate the masses. It's not possible because you cannot control what you do not produce.
You are a member of NESV.
Yeah.
And what is the advocacy for affordable housing in Nigeria? I mean, you also work with a lot of government administration, if I may state that.
Well, I can assure you that our professional bodies president was focusing, on the same social housing I'm talking about, because that's the only solution. And it is only advisory. They don't have executive power. They can only talk and advise and talk. It is whether the government will do it or not is left for them. But like I said, there is nothing anybody can do about it other than the government giving the foundation and the structure for making social housing possible. Our professional body, we can only talk and advise. If the government fails to take the advice, there is nothing we can do about it. But I think it is in the interest of the nation that the government take advice from us, because we are in contact with the people who are looking for houses and who are suffering the problems of high rental values and capital values in the country.
So before we wrap up, about the issue, the relationship between the tenant, landlord, and an agent, so you see a clash between tenants, the landlord, the agent. The tenant is saying the agent fee is more huge, even, double to the house rent. What is the relationship, or what are the issues that you've seen for years of experience?
Well, I don't know when anybody can be telling you that the fee is more than the rent. It's not true, because what the law tells us to do is to charge 10% of the rental value, total rental value, okay, as our agency fee, if we help you to get accommodation. But because people are finding it difficult, most times we even take 5%. Now, how can 5% of a fee be more than 95% that is going to the landlord? Let me put it even in a smaller distance. Let us assume you are paying 500,000 for your house rent. We are supposed to charge you 10%, which is just 50,000. But in most cases, because people cry that is too much for them, we charge them 5%. 5% of that is 25,000. How can you compare 25,000 naira to 405? So the point I'm trying to make is that an agent is a human being. That's what I went to study in the University of Lagos as a professional estate surveyor and valuer. And I have right to make a living out of it. Just like you pay tithe to pastor in the church. You pay 10%. They tell you to pay 10% of your whatever income you have made. What it means is that they're even taking more than what we're taking. Nobody says anything about it. Even the man who is complaining about paying, we that give him a house fee, we carry whatever money out of which he can take for the rent to go and pay as tithe in the church. He doesn't talk about that. A medical doctor who operates you, you pay him fee for his hospital charges. A lawyer who helps you to do agreement, you pay fee. So why are you now talking about even the university you go to, secondary school you go to, primary and nursery you go to, You pay school fees. So why is agency fee now paying some people to pay? Whether they like it or not, they must pay. That is truth.
So, sir, this is not assumption, right?
And
we have a video.
The relationship between an agent and the tenant and the landlord. The landlord owns the house. The landlord, for reasons of wanting to be independent of his decisions, employs an agent to manage his properties, and an agent, a house seeker or property tenant comes to an agent to take this property, and he pays fee. So why is he complaining? So that is the relationship. The agent is the middleman between the landlord and the tenant, from the time he comes in up to the time he goes out. Just like you have clearing agent in the port, if you import good today, you cannot go and clear it yourself. Do you understand? Even if you want to go and apply for visa, you cannot go on you must pass through visa agents. Most countries, if you don't pass through the visa agent, you can never get your visa. People don't complain. It's only house rent and house the fee they pay to agent that they complain. Even if agents say, okay, they don't want to collect fees again, will that make availability of houses to be? The answer is no. It doesn't solve the problem.
Your analysis shows that 10% cannot be more than the house rent itself. But then we have a video. It's not just assumption. I stated here. We go, like before we started this conversation, I told you we go to the streets and we ask people. And so we have proof what people said, not just me saying it. But then from your analysis now, do you have, a registered body for agents? So that so it looks like from what you said, it looks like there are people who are doing that, and then which is not supposed to be. Do you have a registered agent?
As far as I am concerned, those people you are talking about can never in this world come to somebody like me. They go to all those street boys, those who run about, who use signboard, chalk to write the houses they have and put it by the roadside. They can come to me. We have Nigerian Institution of Assets, Surveyors and Valuers. That is a professional board. And then we have Estate Surveyors and Valuers Registration Board of Nigeria. That is a regulatory body that specifies the fee we charge. That's why even if I'm dealing with the federal government or state government, they will pay 10%. Because that is what the law tells us to charge. That is our professional body. So, but people will think that by leaving those of us who are professionals with established offices and homes, most agents you are referring to, they don't have office. So they carry their briefcase, they run about. That is the people we call quacks, those who are looking for what to eat. And if you make mistake and run into them and transact, most times they will carry your money and run away. These are the people. But I can't do that. Because I'm a professional. If I do that, my professional body will, first of all, withdraw my seal and license. And then they will, anywhere I run to in this world, they follow me and they will get that money back. So I have no place to run to. So
now that you've known that we have people like that who you call quackers.
We don't control them. We can't control them. Even the state government tries to control them by having Lagos State Estate Agency Board. But whether it is working or not, I don't know. Because you see, it's easier to have this establishment, but to police them or to monitor them is another thing. But as far as I'm concerned, I am a professional and a corporate real estate professional and agent. And if I do anything, my professional body, NICE, will catch me. So my advice to people is to always, for those of them that can afford to go to professional estate agents, let them try to do that, to avoid stories about missing their money. Or even for hire, those small ones that are unregistered, that didn't go to school, they even charge more. They charge more than us because we are regulated. You understand? But nobody can catch them because you can only catch the person you can regulate.
That looks like a very lucrative business in Lagos State.
It is now. And that is why a lot of people are paying the price, because a lot of people lose their money through such unregulated bodies. But today, MIO Grand Associate, as big as the name sounds, cannot be involved in such story because we are highly regulated. And if you want to deal with any issue of estate agency, please always advise your people, your friends or well-wishers to go to a registered member of Nigerian Institution of Assets, Source and Valuers. These are the people I can vouch for. Okay? Yeah. Now we want to talk about the Makoko and where else in Abuja?
Gishiri.
Yeah, in Abuja.
Another
So let's
places
talk
in
about
Port Harcourt.
Makoko area. You know, it's unfortunate again that in a location like, we call it PR zone, public relations, because it is a high-profile location, particularly for first-time visitors that arrive from the airport. Most places they go to is on island, because before they even leave their countries, they have had advice where to go and where not to go. So where people are passing that third mainland bridge, you look left, you look right. For goodness sake, I have never seen a thing like that in my life. It's only in Nigeria such a thing can happen. So that kind of location left and right, that Makoko area is supposed to be a PR location. You know, when expatriates come, before they will even get to pass Third Mainland Bridge, they have made up their mind whether to do business in Nigeria or not, because they believe that that our poverty is written on our face. You will see rickety wooden structures. Some people say we see them shitting as we are passing Third Mainland. Whereas in a more organized society, what the government would have done was to, after all, any shoreline, any side of the river, you know, up to certain either 10 or 20 meters from the shoreline belongs to the federal government. Why must they close their eyes? And that kind of rickety structures grew like cancers in the body, and they kept quiet. Government kept quiet, just like they do in every area of the country. Okay, look at it today. That thing has become an eyesore. All they would have done was to ensure that they develop, that is seaside. Seaside is one of the most expensive, either as a recreational tourism center or where important people live with their yachts, with their boats. Anywhere outside Nigeria, that is where even those of us who travel overseas every time, there's nobody place with the riverside, because that's where the rich people live with their yachts. But look at our own Makoko. Makoko is not supposed to be a poor man's area, but we made it a ghetto because of inactivity of the fiscal planning authority. What I think they will do is to close their eyes and reclaim the whole of that stretch, pay compensation to those people and relocate them to a more decent area for them and not the seaside. And the government will now have to replant that area and charge even the money to relocate those people. We can get it from that sea line because of the high capital value and rental value of that zones. And so that when a foreigner is coming in, when they look left and look right, they will know, yes, this is Nigeria. But unless they do that, will be a laughing stock in their minds.
Thank you so much, sir. Because of time, in just in one sentence, how can we accommodate the common man in place of development, like you stated with Makoko? And I want you to emphasize on just in one sentence. Let's go.
I've told you before, there's no how. The only way you can accommodate a common man is to go to an area like Ekpe now. Ekpe, I'm talking about Ekpe, or Ikorodu, okay, or after Isheri, to do a satellite city for them. And let a small man know that he's a small man, because you can't become a big man by being annoyed. Okay? And then live within your means, not when your level never reach to Banana Island. They want to go and begin to compete with people who have been suffering all their lives.
It's a process.
Growth is a process. You can't born a child today and they start running today and be big man today. No way. But we Nigerians were in a hurry. So if you go and build those satellite towns for them, I mentioned Ikorodu, Isheri, where and make sure you do certain government will do facilities for them. Let them live there. Then if their services are needed, they will come out from there, do it, and go back. That is the way it is done.
Thank you so much. And I think in doing that, they also need to do well with the issue of roads, the issue of transportation.
Oh, sure.
Also.
But the most important is, for those of you who have been traveling to UK, from let's say from London, somebody can stay in Manchester and come to work. If you start work by 9 o'clock, for instance, in the city center in London and you live in Manchester, all you have to do is to move 2 hours or 3 hours before the time. If you leave 6 a.m. every day where you live, by 8:30, you're already in London. 30 minutes, you're already in your office. Now, there is no place in the Ekbe, Ikorodu, Isheri that they cannot commute within 30 minutes to the island. It is lack of planning. These things are very easy. It's lack of planning. And government must learn to use fiscal planning authority to achieve some of these facilities we're talking about. But if the government don't do anything, everything will be the way it is. Finish.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chief Innocent Mixon Okoro, Principal Consultant, CEO, Emma Okoro, and Associate, for your time in this robust conversation. And we hope that they will get to the appropriate authority, and also a collective effort should be in place so that we can accommodate everyone, as we know that Nigeria, we are in different levels, okay? So there are process to everything. Thank you so much once again, sir.
Thank you for having me, and thank you.
Thank you for watching MI Okoro Property Insights. Subscribe, like, and share for more expert real estate insights and investment opportunities.